right. Hello, hello. Opa. Sorry. Bit of a new setup. So I'm still I'm figuring out what things are and all of that. But hello, welcome to the new office. I'm still working on some of it. So let's mute that before that becomes a problem. Actually, I should check to make sure this works. I think so. I can't tell if I'm quiet or not. If I'm quiet, I apologize. I'll turn this up just a little bit. But anyway. Okay. All right. Howdy. Hello. Okay. So, yeah, so I decided that today I wanted to do something well, I guess different. No timer, none of that stuff. Timer's over there somewhere. Oh. But yeah, so there's been a lot of conversation lately about this market crap and the buyouts that are happening, and as a result of it, I kind of got myself a little bit more not invested but embedded perhaps a little bit more into the conversation. And the more that I've been discovering it, the more I've just realized that I hate it. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm holding cases. I had a case of Monarch, I had a case of TOA, I had a case of Everfest, and I honestly hate all of those sets. So what the hell is wrong with why am I holding all of this stuff if it's just not something I enjoy? And at the end of the day, also I don't really want to do the investor thing. I just don't. It's just not something. It's not why I got into this. I love doing the card game thing. I love supporting and all of that. So yeah, I was I'm kind of done doing the investor thing, doing the holding stuff. And I know that's not me saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's not for me. And I think that when this game started, when Flesh and Blood started, a lot of people got into it because the value was skyrocketing. At the time that it did skyrocket into the stratosphere, a lot of the talk was about the value that was coming from it, because at the time alpha boxes were going for $7,000. At the time Crew first edition was going for $1,600. Arc was going for about $4K. It was hard to ignore the value side of things. So even I got into it, and it's one of the things that led me to it. And thankfully, the game is good enough that that's just not why people stick around nowadays. But the conversation still continues, because the temper tantrum era of TCGs basically says that the internet can create its own perception of success without a game being proven. And I think Fab is in that sweet spot where you don't need a perception of success. It's proven very well on the shelf. But when it comes to the conversation of value, it still leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. It's still it's the lingering of, man, I miss the old days back when Monarch was $400 a box, which were terrible fucking days, by the way, because that's what everybody bought out of the store. So I've got a box of TOA. And it's my last sealed product. I opened the Monarch. I opened the Everfest. I got a Stalagmite out of Everfest. This is the second. No, it's not the second time. It's something like it sort of happened. I got a Doomsday and an Eclipse out of a single box of Monarch out of the last one. It's not this first time something like that has happened. I had it happen before where I got 2 Doomsdays out of the same box. I was like, thanks. But yeah, Silver a game's value is in its playability. My bumper sticker version is appreciation creates value. It's not the other way around. And I think that there's a lot of it needs to be the other way around. There's a lot of videos on, man, this game's doing so good because these boxes are 200% of what I paid for them. And that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean anything. Honestly, you haven't done it. You haven't done squat. And in a game like that, in a system like that, all you're doing is chasing value. It's why these little bastards. It's why these little jerks. And yeah, I have them because I these were what I used to do a review of MetaZoo. It was rough. I had to compliment sandwich it. But it's why these guys cannot get any ground, because they chased value and that's all they did. And now that's all they can do, and nobody gives a shit. So here I am with a box of tails that I just want to be done with. I just don't want it. I don't want to have to look at the future of this game and say, man, I wonder what this is going to do to my box of tails. I wonder what this is going to do to the value of this thing that I'm holding on to. Because, one, you can't use half the cards anyway. They're going to be living legend. So yeah, but I wanted to open this. We're gonna open this. I'm gonna flip the camera into my like fun mode, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the market stuff that we've been seeing, some of the videos, some of my thoughts on it. These aren't like, I'm not telling you like this is how it has to be, but I'm just sharing what this does to somebody like me who did not get into this game, who did not get into this hobby to become a profiteer. And I'm gonna explain the difference between the words because we like to confuse it with the word investor. But let's get this thing going because there's also a hockey game I want to watch. So I also want to do that. So we're gonna flip this. I made a thing, and I got my thing of tails. Also check it out as Go Again Gaming. I got his playmat finally. So he I think it was like his 1,000. Yeah, the playmat he did for 1,000. So that was pretty. That was cool. I'm a big fan of that. Oh God, what is wrong with me? Also, for those of you who join or join after, what the heck's wrong with me? Drinking today. Drinking. Got myself an old chub from Oscar Blues. Right? Oscar Blues, old chub. So I've got that. Of course, I've got my glass. It was cool. I had like DM recently moved, I think, to Oregon, and he randomly did a tweet where he showed off the glass that I sent him, and then it just became kind of like a stream of other people who were like, "Hey, I got that glass too," and I was like, "Ah, it felt good." I gotta make more of these. These are not cheap. These are like $8 a pop to make, but you can only make them in, well, they're $8 a pop once you hit like the 70 mark, like the 60s or the 48 plus. But you can only buy them really like in sets of 24. So this was like to get what I had was like a $700 endeavor. But yeah, but cheers to you guys. Thanks for joining. All right, now we're gonna open a box. Now we're gonna open some tails. And now we're gonna talk and do all that stuff. So, Tales of Aria. What up? Whoopa. Whatever. It's getting opened anyway. It's getting opened anyway with my cheap ass Costco scissors. Also, like, I'm on a Vera desk, so I get to jump. If you guys remember the old videos, like this whole thing was gray. This was all gray behind me. I had a big corner desk that I grew to hate. Grew to hate that stupid thing. So I got rid of it, and I'm in between jobs right now. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to redo the office, and I'm going to think of all the, like, what do I really want to do? What do I want to do with life? Right? Okay, here we go. Cool. Off this goes. I'll go over here. Alright. Not any weird game or anything like that. We're just going to crack the crap out of this. I'm going to do, not a sort, but I'm going to at least get, like, the rares and whatnot out of the way. Because I spent the day separating bulk. That's a lie. I've spent, like, a week separating bulk. Not sorting it, just separating it by set. And then I'm going to be shipping it out to a hell of a lot of people. I've got a few people. Well, I got a couple people who were asking, so. But anyway, Toa. And I'm going to get a little dark here because I hate this set. I loathe the crap out of Tales of Aria. I think that there's no... I don't think there's anything that did more damage to the game and my personal confidence in it right now than the weird, bad experiment that was Tales of Aria. And in the moment, it was fun. Going out to Vegas was a blast. I loved being a part of like the opening and whatnot. But as we look back, it created one of my most hated metas. And these are all personal opinions. This isn't me saying like this is the state of the game. These are all personal opinions. But I hated ice meta. I loathed it with a passion. It's a set that the elemental talent is what basically made Bravo a thing, and it's also been responsible for like 80% of the bans that this game has right now. I'm like, well, that's dumb. That's no fun. Anyway, we've seen this. I feel like I can go a little closer, maybe. But anyway, that's me. I think Tails has just led to kind of a year and change of just kind of crap. As far as just stuff that wasn't fun, stuff that just wasn't entirely fun, and I know it's it's early, it's an experiment and whatnot. So they're learning, but I hope we never see. I hope that Elemental dies in a fire. I really do. I'm glad to see that Outsiders is just like there's no arcane, there's no talents. We're just back to basics. We are just back to the basics. I'm a fan of that. Okay. 5 off, evergreen, snap, electrify, runaways. Nothing crazy. I don't know why. This is not their own stack. But yeah, I'm putting everything aside for bulk. By the way, I've got so much, the other thing is I've got so much TOA and I've got so much Everfest bulk. So if you need Tales of Aria and Everfest bulk, let me know. However, you know, shoot me a DM on Twitter or hit me up at Discord or any of those things. I've got tons of it. Lightning Press, Evergreen. But anyway, as we talk, as we crack things, the thing I want to chat a little bit about also is the stupid market videos. Because I've gotten into a couple discussions with a couple people lately, and I've started to see a couple discussions, and a lot of it kind of sparked up. One, we've had buyouts for a couple of months. We've done the buyout thing for a couple of months, and I'm not a fan, but that's just, I know that's also kind of the way of things. Sorry, I think your face is in the way. I think your face is screwing up the focus. Come on. There we go. Oh, we had it. We'll figure it out. It'll figure itself out. So we had the buyouts for like a couple of months, and there's this whole conversation of whether or not this is good, whether or not this is bad. And it gets weird and it stays weird. And my feelings on it, I spent a while thinking about this. I spent a little while thinking about it. And I was like, okay, am I okay with this for starters? And if so, why? Light it up. A card that you're like, ooh, light it up. I remember seeing this and I was like, oh my god, and then nobody ever used it. Sorry, Lexi. But yeah, so I thought about it, I was like, all right, how do I feel about the buyout specifically? And where I landed on this was, I don't mind that buyouts happen. I don't. I kind of don't. But the presentation sucks. The presentation of it all sucks. And I hate EV. I hate EV videos with a passion. I think they're just dumb. They're based off of nothing. And I remember somebody was trying to get the idea that like cards aren't stocks and stupid shit like that. But the problem is that we treat them as such. The difference, however, between like cards and stocks and why it's such a why the idea of estimated value is such a crappy presentation. Is that when you're looking at stocks, the idea of them, the concept of them, you can kind of reflect on like what a business does a little bit. Like you can see what they're up to, and be like, okay, I can react to that, and I can see how competitors are reacting to that, and I can see what they're doing, and it's not, value and increase in those types of things are really based on kind of like the industry as a whole. And estimated value videos and this what's the market doing, they're all based and driven off of speculation and literally nothing more. Absolutely nothing more. They never have been. Like I'm looking at some of Stax's videos. Like I started taking a look at some of Stax's videos. And it was a lot of like, here's what's happening, and then here's what's cheap. Here's what's cheap, everybody. And then he came out and he was like, okay, like shortly after, it's, hey, look what you guys did. You guys made the price of this thing go up. Good job. Whoa, we called the market. I'm like, no, that's not what you did. You created a speculation, and then you validate it by having people just spec. It's based off of nothing. Like everyone right now is specking, is buying themselves into Monarch a little bit like crazy just because they're specking that Dusk Till Dawn is going to do a heck of a lot for Monarch. I don't think it's going to do shit for Monarch, honestly. I don't think it's going to do squat because I've seen enough supplemental sets and I've seen enough things in the game where it's really hard to go back and revisit kind of the old heroes. And I definitely don't see like Leviah popping up all of a sudden. I definitely don't see Bolton popping up all of a sudden. Like I just thinking about like what's popular, what's like what does the competitive scene do, which usually goes towards say, ooh, that's a cold foil runaway. Hi. Hello. I am live. I am trying out the new setup and seeing how like the desk works with all of the with like the lighting and the Vera desk and whatnot. So cold foil. I've got sleeves. There we go. Are the great sleeves new? No, they're not, but they're sleeves. They're sleeves. Anyways, anyway, back on task with market eval stuff. So yeah, like I don't. I've seen enough sets where you kind of go with what's easy, what kind of plays itself a little bit. I don't really see like that's really what has kind of been popular. Not to say that like it's just everything that is like Living Legends is so stupid and so easy that that it doesn't take like any skill or anything like that. But like I don't see anybody like going back and revisiting like Bolton. I don't see anybody going back and revisiting Leviah. I don't see anybody going back and revisiting kind of these heroes all of a sudden like from a while out, just because you've got things like your Fi and Dromai, and the stuff that is really aggressive are going to be getting more support, and I think that I think those are just going to end up kind of taken over, and everything else is just going to fall by the wayside. Additionally, I have to appreciate that. I'd like to think that LSS has kind of learned from some of their mistakes. I like to hope so, right? So when it comes to the kind of support that they give, I don't think it's going to be something that's like so overwhelming that like we have a new set of bans, right? So, but it's that kind of stuff. It's hey everybody, we're going to say that this is suddenly popular and this needs to skyrocket in value, or this is way the heck too cheap, but it's based off of absolutely nothing. It's based off of, the validity comes from whether or not the market kind of accepts your opinion. And then they go right back down. Like there was a short period in time where like Snatch was up to like $4 for like a day. Because, somebody came out and was like, oh, Snatches are way too cheap right now. And then they went up to like 2, and then they went to 4 for like a day. And now they're back down to like 80 cents. Okay. What the hell? That's you're building off a spec. You're making the market validate stuff, and you're not letting the company actually do, like the company doesn't need to do any of the work. So I hate EV videos, and I hate market spec videos. Like I don't mind, hey, I'm putting a position in XYZ thing, but like coming back and saying, let's see how you guys did. Like if I'm going to say that a Monarch card is supposed to skyrocket in value, and then it does for a week and then it drops immediately, like that doesn't get to be based off of whether or not Dusk Till Dawn is a thing coming out. That's you suckering everybody into saying, well, if you don't get it now, it's never going to come back. Like no, it's going to come back, especially with Monarch. Why is this shit going so high? You guys are aware that there were 25,000 boxes of Monarch first made, and there's like 125,000 boxes of Unlimited. I think I forgot what the actual Unlimited count was. I feel like it was 125. But like there's so much of this out there. It's not like, hey, we're gonna buy this out and you're never gonna get it again. Like just stop. Just freaking stop. But yeah, so I got myself a little ingrained in that, and that's something that I've struggled with kind of in full with the idea. So if you think about the triad, there's a triad, by the way, in TCGs. There's the player, collector, investor. The triad. Blah. The idea is that players are the ones who are buying things in bulk. Collectors are, kind of collecting the fun stuff, but they like the idea of things being rare, but they're definitely not capable as buyers of making something rare. They need the players for that. And then the investor crew are the ones who do take up positions, kind of like I did with this case of, it was just one case, so it's not like a big position. But they're the ones who like take up a case, or take a bunch of cases, take a bunch of product, and say, down the road, this is going to go. And for some weird reason, that the definition of that has kind of been flipped around a little bit, because you've got people who are like, oh, I invested in Art of War, and I was able to sell it like the next week for $20 profit per. That's not investment to me. You didn't invest in that. That's dealing. You're dealing at that point. You're profiteering at that point. And that's kind of why I'm selling, or not selling. That's why I'm getting rid of this. That's why I'm getting rid of this box. I don't have to be thinking about that. I don't have to be thinking about, did this make, am I making profit? Am I able to make a profit in a week? Do I want to deal with that pressure? It's just not something that's for me. And I also just really I just hate the idea of profit-frickin-teering. Because it's designed to bring people who don't know any better. They just don't know better. They don't know better. And it brings them into this fold, and it gets them into this like, buying and selling pattern that they're not familiar with. Like Riddler Man Gaming, if he ends up listening through this is a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a call out or shadow. I don't know how I want to call this. But we're having a conversation in a Twitter thread. We're talking about the current buyouts. And the line that comes up is the people who are buying things out are probably not actually making any money on these things. They're not making any money on the cards. Yeah, I am still working with Genesis. I'm in between full-time jobs, full-time contracts. God, how much of a delay is this on? Ugh. Anyway, the conversation that occurred was the people who are probably buying these things out are not like making any money off of it right now. Like they're probably holding on to these cards. So you see, oh God, what was it? It was the Bolton. It was the Bolton promo that was bought out, and suddenly it's like $35, right? The thing is $35, or if it was at a time, it was $35 promo. And the counter, I guess we'll go with counter, was, you know, hey, they're holding on to it, but they probably aren't making money. Okay, do other people know that? That's the problem with the dealing aspect of it. Is if I see Money Machine go burr and I see a card value go up, and then it's there. If I come in late, if I come in like 2 days late, and I see that at that value, but I'm still under the impression that like this is still kind of going up, I'm under the impression that this is something that I should be taking a position in, right? Taking a position in. And I don't really know otherwise. I might buy in that inflated value, not realizing that everybody else is like holding this thing. I don't know that. You didn't communicate that. You didn't put on your little thumbnail that, hey, this is a good time to take a position. There's things like going to the moon and Money Machine go burr and here's how to get a bunch of quick value. Like, you're telling a whole bunch of people who are not used to this game. You are convincing. Oh, come on. Come on, me. Back to me. Come on. Boop. Can we refocus? No? Sorry. 1 sec. Off. On? We're gonna switch back for a sec. Off. On. I'm gonna try this. Sorry. That's the old camera. Okay. Back in action. So yeah, you know, people who are they're not used to this buying behavior. They're definitely not used to this holding on to your stuff behavior. So are they aware that if they spend 200% of something's value, because you've convinced them that this is easy value and you haven't exactly told them when that's supposed to stop, you know, I feel like that's really just you taking advantage of people. I feel like you're leading people down a whole bunch of crap, and I don't really care if you say, well, that's really on them, isn't it? No, when you put out stupid thumbnails like look at all the value and to the moon and look at all this profit kind of shit, everyone's gonna bypass, you know, they're not gonna think about, you're not convincing them to be thinking about like the meta commentary of that. You're not convincing them to think about like, oh, here's what you should be doing smartly. You're telling them, hey, this is gonna go to the moon. You should get in on this and they're gonna read that, and like no matter what price they buy it at, they think they're gonna see a value go up. And I don't really care what you have to say of like, well, that's just the risk of this kind of shit. You created it. You put out this stupid fucking video. Stop. That's the thing that kind of like, you know, I don't even know how to say it. Like, this is almost kind of why I like shorts. And I know that there's some people who are trying to abuse the short mechanic as well. But like, at least I know, like, if something is going up in value, if I expect something to go up in value, like, I don't have to wait till like 15, 20 minutes in a long video for you to figure it out. Like this I don't really, like, if you get through this, then cool. But I don't have a thumbnail that says like, look at me cracking Tales of Aria because I know it's going to skyrocket in value. No, I think I don't see this skyrocketing in value, kind of at all. More coldies, the cold and oldies. I like these. I think they're cool looking. But that's the concept of dealing. That's dealing. That drives me nuts. I hate that crap. That's not investing to me. I don't see that as investment. If you're saying like, hey, I'm gonna spend $1,000 on Art of Wars, and then you're excited about the fact that like those have increased so much in value. They increased in value. They haven't until you sell the thing, but people who don't really, people might not exactly know that. People might not know, it's like, just what you see on TCG Player might not be the actual value of the card. So, you know, you're flipping that. And, you know, people who are like, oh, look at all the money I made off of this 1 week sale. That's, you're not investing. That's flipping. That's dealing. Fuck off. Shut up. So there we go. That's my thought on that. I remember how far I wanted to go on that one. All I know is that whatever I was talking about, or what I was thinking about, made me go a little slower than I wanted to. So off we go. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. 30 minutes in. I'm not even through half this case. All this stuff said, like a lot of this stuff that you're seeing, you know, naturally, like the rares and whatnot, are just gonna probably go just in another bulk pile. If I get anything spicy from this, I am probably gonna end up selling it out, just for whatever it is, at whatever people say it is, because that's kind of the point, or I guess some of the point, right? Is that I am funding a baby fund. I'm funding a baby fund. And I don't mind that I don't mind if certain people are willing to take, you know, stuff for the value. At least I'm not coming out and saying it's like this thing is going to be, you need to buy this at this much. You need to buy this at $400 because it's going to go to $600. Just you wait. And then that's based off of nothing except a bunch of people who sucker themselves into it and they buy it up to $600 and then it goes crashing down again. Sucks to be you. You're going to do a clown video of what's going to the moon. God, what do I have on the shelf that's going to the moon? Other than nothing. Nothing is going to the moon. I've got Genesis stuff in the corner. I'm trying to build as much of that as I can. Not as an investment. I got 1 box of each just because it's a part of my personal professional history. So like I like the idea of having some of that just kind of on display museum wise. Aria's up there. Their starter sets, just because I really do like that game. Really like what I've had. Cryptic's up there. I don't see that one going. I definitely don't see that one going anywhere. They're trying real hard. They got a weird relationship with Whatnot that scares me. Me and Whatnot are not friends, by the way. I do not like their business model. I do not like what they're doing, and I think I really wonder whether or not they're going to find themselves in lawsuit territory at a point. But that's me really guessing on what the relationship they have with certain indie TCGs are. That is based off of nothing, but it's a little discouraging. There's a little discouraging in there. Oops, you don't go there. You don't go there. But yeah. It's a decent enough game. I enjoyed it. It's pretty Magic adjacent. So for those people who are getting out of Magic and want something kind of nearby, hey, Cryptic's right there. Game's fun enough. I appreciate Tanner, and you know I like his gumption, his go get 'em attitude, and he definitely puts in the hard work. He's doing a tour, with his playing card Kickstarter. Please don't do playing card Kickstarters. If you're a creator, please don't do this shit. Don't do that. Just stop. In Tanner's case, it's okay because he's from Vegas, so it actually makes sense. Like there's actually like it makes sense even from just a historical perspective and his own life flavor perspective. But Cryptics was dumb, or not Cryptics. Metazoos was dumb. It was a special brand of dumb. So there's that. Final Fantasy's up there, just because I got a couple boxes that's at a time where you couldn't get boxes. So those are actually going to some people in Colorado who were not able to get boxes at the time. I should actually gotta find some time to get down there. That's another one that's that one's gonna linger. It survives in Japan, but Square Enix has done just about everything wrong. Everything wrong. As far as being able to grow the thing. So whatever. It lingers. Thanks, Japan. Double weave lightnings. Oops. What else do we have over there? I got Gem Blenders. These guys. Shout out to Steve. Steve and Gem Blenders. Cool little LCG. Well, that's an LCG. He's working on making a trading card game. fun little, like, I call it like the Megazord game. But he's coming to Gamma, so he's actually putting an investment in trying to get in front of like partners and local game stores and the industry. And I like when a game's trying to actually get into the industry, in front of the industry, and get yourself in the lion's den. So there's that. Sulfur Fusion is up there. I tried that one. That one's okay. I had the same problem with Soulforge that I had with Keyforge, which is the slippery slope problem. It has such a slippery slope problem. Force of Nature. Let's see. Zoo Tiles, Fruits Basket. That's not trying to go to the moon. Vanquishers is there. They were the victims of unfortunate timing. Because they had a Kickstarter that was going, it was doing just fine, and then the hurricane in Florida just hosed everything, and they lost a ton of support because a lot of places were down there, and they had to, they just had to recover costs. Like, there was just so much damage. But check this out. How cool is this? This is something I'd love to see others do, which are these starter, like, and I hate that they're only doing these for the Kickstarter, but like, for any game, be Flesh of Blood, be whatever, like these clamshell, like, these are just cool clamshell starter decks. Like, those would be really fun to see on a shelf. Those would be real fun to see on a shelf. Fab's there. They're doing fine. They'll be fine. I'm not worried. I'll talk about Outsiders in a sec. I wish Netrunner was still a thing, but that's down there. And then Back Alley Mages, who I had hopes for, and now I don't have any hopes for. Not a one. And that bugs me. Not that, like, I got into them big or anything like that. I'm actually using them as a, you are Cold Foil, Ragamuffin, Boom Guy, Sires, Unsealed, Fab Unsealed. This would be a bang, according to Chris. Probably just because he wears the hat. I think that's like the only reason. No, I'm hoping to get a speaking engagement at Gamma. I'm in the running for it. I'm just kind of waiting for it. I'm waiting it out. I'm waiting for the programming. But they're a group that I'm using them as a use case when I ask them to give me kind of an elevator pitch of, like, how would you talk to a player who wanted to get into the game? You got a minute. And then I asked them to do the same thing for a local game store, and they had no fucking clue. And I think they've just basically given up the idea of, let's try to get this thing to the game stores, and they're just releasing, like, mini sets. So, like, the thing's got nowhere to go. It's just going to be based off of how popular its Discord gets. They also completely screwed over the creation. They were so stuck on their foils. They were so addicted to their damn foils that the product is unusable as a result. Which is, like, that's fucking smart. Like, good job. Good job. 2 cold foil box, but, like, neat. Neat. Right? So, yeah, alright, we're gonna clear out. Give Az a little show. I'm gonna just put these in the box. These go in the case themselves. Oh my god. Alright. Halfway through, a little more than halfway through. All right. We're just gonna go there. Box 3. Nothing crazy. Which game is that? Of the hundreds? Of the hundreds. What? On my shelf? I'm like on like a, I don't know how many minute delay. Oh, come on. No, this one? Hooch Stooges? Maybe it's Hooch Stooges? I don't know. I'll wait for chat. Let me know what specific game you're thinking of. Or at least I need more context. Alright, box 3. Here we go. Here we go. But no, I'm starting to be thankful that this the temper tantrum era is dying down. For those of you who don't know what I call the temper tantrum era, I mentioned it a couple times. This is of the foils that they fail to Back Alley Mages. Back Alley Mages had, they've got like, I'll show this off real quick. Oh, come here. Ah! Soraya. They've got, so quick, super quick. So Back Alley, like they've got these just really cool, really pretty foils, but they put them on every stupid card. Every single card is a foil, which means, one, I have this problem, and the non-Kickstarter version of the thing is not going to be, the non-Kickstarter version of it, they're not going to be foiled. Like, they might have a couple, but like, when you literally, you would not be able to use this in tournament play with the actual like retail version of a game if they ever create one. The other problem is that you cannot tell, like, these things just become really hard to read. Some of them are fine, but then you get into like, you get some like this thing, like, okay, like, don't do this. Don't get so addicted to your foils. Don't get so addicted to your creative. Like, this is my box topper. I can't even read what it says. I cannot. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this crap. But yeah. So I had him do my elevator pitch like as a business, and they had no fucking clue what they were talking about. So I relegate them to the D-list celebrity survivor circuit of people of card games that just keep going to Collecticon and trying to create their own relevancy. Like, just stop. There's so many of them. There's like, God, it's like Dream Book, don't get me started. Defenders of the Wild, Back Alley Mages. I hate it because I like the guy, but like Monsters Glare. There's just so many. Like, we're just putting cards on things. Putting cards out there into the world, and we're going to keep just finding the people who can make them shiny looking on Instagram, but we're not going to make a business out of what we're doing. And like, then why are you wasting your time like trying to create rules? Just make shiny art and work with tops or something. Because you're creating clutter. And there was a time that was yeah, and the thing is that box topper actually looks lighter on the camera than it does in person. The camera did a little auto lighting help for me. More exposed. Whoa. That's like too much pack. There's too much pack there. Too much wrapper. That one just felt a little weird. All right. Ice Quake emerging. Nope. So it's that kind of stuff, and that goes right back to the whole dealing thing. That goes right back to the whole conversation of this shit's going to the moon, and oh my god, you know, because this person with a whole bunch of likes did a thing. This is going to be like the hottest shit in the world. That's what's going to happen with like things like Alestrals. It's going to happen with a bunch of other games that, you know, try to capitalize on the TCG Temper Tantrum era, where you don't have to prove yourself on the shelves. You just need the internet to say something's going to be successful. And they were able to profit a little bit, and now everybody's looking through and being like, well, we don't know where to go with this we don't know where to go with this game. We don't know where to go with this product. No, to light it up. Jeez. And that's where I think Fab is in a good place. That's where Flesh and Blood is in a good place. Like, if you look at any game in basically the history of ever, they built their back on the foundation of players. And Fab has done that as well. So, like, looking at things like estimated value and looking at things like the state of the market and looking at all this nonsense that drives me nuts, like, it's gonna climb, it's gonna fall, it's not gonna matter. And I'm telling everybody right now, like, don't fucking fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for somebody saying, like, you need to be buying Sink Belows at $1 and $2. Don't fucking do it. Don't buy them at $2. I'll send you bulk. It's going to fall as soon as people forget about the conversation. As soon as it, like, just stops. Flash freeze. I got Mark Poole to do an artist proof of this, where this guy's basically, like, cooling down a beer. It was the coaxing. It was the coaxing prize last year. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for the coaxing this year. Yeah, I like the games that don't go crazy with foils. Like, I was sorting through all of my bulk, which, by the way, I'll show this off. Hold on, we'll do it this way. Actually, we'll do this pack first. Ooh. G, everybody. All right. I feel like if I held that off and then put it on, it would have been like me trying to Not in this box. Well, just now in this box, literally just now. But yeah, here, well, I'll show them off, and then I'll show you the rest of the stuff. Let's see. So here we've got, so far in the cold foil pile, we got Pulse, I got a Ragamuffins, I got a Suede Hides, and I got a Runaway. So we haven't hit the good squishy just yet. We have not hit good squishy yet. But that's what we do have, at least as far as cold foil. Including just pulled Pulse of Band. I think that one's banned, right? But anyway, so I've been sorting my bulk. All right, I was gonna flip the camera real quick. Sorting the bulk, which is down, like it's there, and there's some there, and there's some over there. So yeah, I've been sorting the crap out of bulk lately. And I totally forgot where I was going with that part of the conversation. Oh, right. No, but I don't remember where I was going with it. Whatever. We're sorting bulk. There we go. It's getting sent out. But like, when you get into the market shit of, you know, buy these things for $1, buy these things for $2, it's only going to go that high as long as people are talking about it, and then suddenly won't. Just suddenly won't. Yeah. Come. Just don't fall for it. There you go. Oh, that's right. That's where I was going with it. So I was sorting through all of the bulk, and I found, you know, I set aside like all the rares and all the foils that kind of got mixed in. I got like 3,000 foils that I'm just not using. And I have no desire to use, and I can't use them half the time. Like, you know, thankfully Fab has the rule of like you can do proxies if you bring in a foil, but like I've got thousands of foils that I haven't cared about. Hell, I haven't cared about the ones I've been pulling that aren't like spicy ones, and even the ones that sort of are. Like, the only reason I cared about this is because there was a story attached to it. So like, okay. The fascination with foils is not one that... The fascination with foils doesn't scale. How about that? Let's do it from a project management perspective. It doesn't scale. Everybody loves their foil. They love having foils. Except they only like the ones that are worth, like, showing off. And that drives me nuts. Because what happens, you have this whole, like, system of... You have this whole, like, all the foils all the time. Oh my god, all the foils. And then, like, nobody gives you shit. Like, Tales of Aria has some of the best foiling work in just... Definitely in Flesh and Blood. Like, holy crap. Like, Snapshot specifically is one that, like, is unbelievable when you see it in foil. Which I think I pulled one. I think I pulled one, actually. Let me see if I can find it. That's another one. Sorry, breaking the action. Breaking the action, everybody. I thought I did. Ball Lightning's a good one too. But Snapshot's like a class of its own. Dazzling's good. Darn, okay, maybe I didn't. But like still, like, alright, well fine. We'll use those examples. Like the foiling on these, just, they bring so much out to it. These are so freaking cool. But also, like, I pulled them, I was like, I don't care. They're over there now. Gosh, I almost spilled them. Meh. Foil tokens are cool. Like, I like the stuff that you don't have to use. Like, if you're gonna make something that's foil, make it that it's something that, like, needs to be maybe on the side. You have a couple people who are like, but what about the people who like to bling out their decks? I know, like, 3 people who want to bling out their decks with Flesh and Blood. Like, just fucking stop. Blossoming. Just stop. Stop with it. It's not as interesting as people think. It just looks interesting because it looks rarer. It looks like a foil. It looks rarer. So you go nuts about them. Yeah, all right. So you're 4, Christian. You're number 4. Explosive, leave, lightning. Nope. Monster's like, okay, like... The thing is like, it makes a like, if you're wondering If you guys are wondering why the heck product is so fucking expensive, like why prices are skyrocketing as much as they are, just take a look at the damn foils. Because that's going to be a reason. Because when you have, if you're going to do a foil, if you do foils, you have to, from a printing perspective, that's a completely another set of plates. Like you're doubling, if not tripling, your cost half the time because you're injecting foils so hard because you have to do different plates. Sometimes it's a different printing process. You have to use different plates for them. Like you have to create them. That also means you're turning on and off machines multiple times, which there are usually charges associated with just doing that because it's not like you hit the cancel button on the printer. That's not a thing. It's not what happens when you've got a multi-tier, you've got a multi-stepped process where you've got 4 different plates for cyan, magenta, yellow, black. You've got whatever your foiling process is. You have your varnish. You've got, and then you gotta flip the damn thing, and you gotta do it over again so that we can get the backside. Like, and then you add foils to that. You've just doubled, if not tripled, your expenses. You're like, okay, well, why are boxes so expensive? Well, it's because we love foils so damn much. That's why. There you go. That's why. That's a big part of it. Sup, Jim? Sup, Jim? Hello, sir. Yeah, it's in my weekend off because I am taking a weekend off. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna crack open the last of my sealed product because I hate this. I hate having to care about this game. Hello. I hate having to care about this game from the perspective of, I wonder if this is going to make my sealed product go up. And I have like 1 case of each, so it's not like I'm going to be profiting a ton from it. And it's not like I'm going to hold this thing forever. So you know what? I'm just going to open stuff. I'm going to get the bulk out the door to people who want it and who need it, because that's just much more useful. Remember when we thought that this was going to matter? Remember the 2 hours that we thought Sting of Sorcery was going to mean something? That was cute. That was a cute 2 hours. That was a fun little ride. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I wanted to just open the last of my tails. So we still haven't seen anything crazy spicy from the cold foil. And we got 1 box left. So either this is like a dead case, or we're in for something real cool to close this thing off. To the 10 of you who are here, might as well. I'm gonna have somebody else enjoy. I'm gonna have somebody else enjoy this stuff because I've got Tales of Aria out the ass. It's kind of ludicrous. All right. Here we go. Here's where we're at. Everybody. We've got 1 box left. This is the cold foil suite. That's what we have so far. So no legendary. I did not have enough beer that time. That's probably why. Mm-hmm. 1 box to go. What do you guys think? Is there an L in here? Does anyone want to take any guesses on what it is? Anybody? Why not? I wouldn't mind it being a New Horizon, but and I have a New Horizon. I pulled a New Horizon from a last place pack over at at Heart of Gold for an Armory event. I was like, okay, we're good. That's one of those things that's a mechanic that I need more of. Shockies. I do love the Shockies. That's another one that's got a beautiful cold foil. Come here. You guys go to the floor. Oh wait, I think I got them. Yeah. Beautiful cold foil. 4th pack in Shot Charmers. Okay. All right. I'll bite. I will bite. We're going to go 4th pack in. How about we do a little, let's do a little Saint tribute. We'll go, we got Left Twix, right Twix. No L, just the Altart channel. Oh, I'd take that. How about this? I'll even give you double here. We'll go, because I don't know. This is going to take forever. So we're going to say those are the 4th packs in on Left Twix or Right Left Twix or Right Twix. How the hell did he do that? It's one of these. So if I don't get to these by the time, Andrew, tell me Left Twix or Right Twix. Oh my God. Okay. Slow down, simmer down. Left, right. These are the fourth packs, Andrew. I'll let you pick which one. In the meantime, I've got other ones to open. What's up, Jacob? Geeks first. Center Twix. That. Okay, I was like, that's not a thing, and then I realized who said it. I'm like, oh, I see. Left Twix. Left Twix. That's yours. We will open that. We will open that as the fourth pack. And then Hill's going right. Sigil, Bolt, Weave Ice. That was pack 1. Here's 2. 2. Lightning, Snap, Bolt and Shot. Well, we're still doing okay. 3. 3. Lightning Press, Snaps, Flake Out. Nope, nothing. Nothing. All right, here we go. 4. Oh, beer I'm drinking. Jim, I am enjoying a bourbon at the moment, followed by hazy. This is Old Chub from Oscar Blues. It's a Scotch ale from a brewery out in Longmont, Colorado / Estes Park, Colorado. I like the Estes version better because they got a smoker outside, so they get some really good barbecue. All right, for Andrew, here's Left Twix. I was gonna try to be cute, but screw it. We'll see what we get. All right, Left Twix, Weave, Biting, Foil, Channel Mount Heroic. That ain't bad. It's not a bad shot. This is a cold foil. No, it's not. Oh, I thought it was. Wow, all right, I'm blaming the lighting. Sorry, Andrew. I apologize. I'm going to be happy with the Channel Mount Heroic, though. That one's pretty cool. That's good. That's a good one to have. All right. It's so good. It's one of my favorites. This thing's like, what are you? 8.0 alcohol. All right. Right Twix. Fourth pack, Right Twix. Weave, Polar, and... Oh, hello. Both of you win for fourth pack. How about both of you win for fourth pack? That's pretty cool. But... all right. In goes new. See, I wanted New Horizon. I even asked for it. It's like, hey, New Horizon, baby. That deserves a cheers. That deserves a beer. That deserves a beer. That deserves a sip. I'm a fan. That's cool. All right. So it's gonna go like 75-25. Andrew calling the shot on the fourth pack. And then I'll give Hillary some credit as well for getting Left Twix versus Right Twix, but going fourth pack out of 24 is pretty killer. Well done. That's cool. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, that basically means now we just really have to blast through this because what the heck are we looking for? Blink. I'm just gonna put that there. I'm just gonna feel good about life and put that there. So I already have one because that's what I do play, and I really wish that we have more of these because this is right now the only thing that gives a second slot. It's the only thing that gives a second slot. And there's a lot of like really needs to give a second slot. I don't know why they created a whole thing of having 2 arsenal slots and really like, and then just decided to put the ability to do that on one fucking card. The hell, just the hell. Accessibility, guys, like, please humor me. Call shops and buyouts. Nice. Booties are good too. The boots are solid. All right. We roll on a little bit quicker. Let's move forward. Yeah, so like the second stuff, I'm excited for. I'm thinking about Outsiders. I'm not sure how I feel because a couple people have been trying on Talishare and like, oh, this is a negative experience. Somebody was like complaining last night of like how Azalea is like suddenly a negative play experience, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, for who? Because I'm used to playing Azalea, and it's always been a negative play experience. Hey, another channel. Man, what a goofy box this would be as far as if it was like a sealed. All I need is a Voltaire at this point. And this would get pretty nutty. No, you can't use heroic with Lexi, but like still, hey, neat. Having New Horizon and then like Voltaire in the same box would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. All right, we're down to this is the last half, the first half of the last box. This is the last pack of the first half of the last box. There we go. There we go. It's complicated. I'm excited for Outsiders. I'm excited for Azalea to be a problem. I really like what they did with Ranger. Or at least, I really like what they did with the idea of the Arsenal having some fucking payoff. Because they didn't have that before. It's the thing that drove me nuts. Drove me nuts that they never figured out was, like, going through the efforts of Ranger was never worth what you actually got out of it. Which is why even Lexi, who had the ability to kind of pick what was more important to her, even she couldn't crack the code, because the payoff was just never good enough for Ranger. So I'm glad that there's more payoff for it. I don't know whether or not it's good because the point that was brought up yesterday was that Azalea has too many there's too many Ranger tactics. Azalea having Red in the Ledger, so that adds kind of one really important one. There's too many tactics that make it so opponents don't get to play the game, which is really fucking funny, isn't it? Because that was literally what I was complaining about in my Foundations thing, and I got put a little bit on blast for it. And here we are. You don't get to play the game is kind of a shitty mechanic, isn't it? Fucking idiots. Anyway, it's the reason I hated Ice, because you don't get to play the game. That's the whole fucking point. So I'm happy to see a little bit more love for that. I still don't know whether or not like the value of a card in hand is good enough. I don't know if we're there yet. Just because the cards in hand have to do so much. But I don't think that's really that respected as well. That's why I was like, hey, discard has like such a minimal, being able to discard and having things cost more has like such a minimal offset. And like, that cards in hand are serving 3 duties, right? Like, stop. Make these things harder to accomplish. And that's why I hate this fucking set. That's why I loathe Tales of Aria, because it set the foundation for your cards are either worthless or they're way too important. There's no middle. There's no middle ground. And unfortunately, with things like Oldham and then things like Iceliner and Uprising and whatnot, it just became, well, it's too easy to shake that system. No, it wasn't a tracking thing. That was Andrew guessing. He just said 4th pack. And, well, that happened. He gave him the benefit of it happened, so. But yeah, like the value of card in hand, and they're like, and then you have this stupid set and Ice, and you have fucking Everfest, which I was happy to crack and get the hell out of my house. That was like, oh yeah, we just don't understand why these are important, so we're gonna offset stupid crap with, well, it's a block 2. Like, fuck off. Like, shut up. Figure stuff out. Thunderstep. Alright, 4 packs to go. Yeah, Aria is creeping up, but it's also like gonna go away, because like Oldham's gonna probably, Oldham's gonna hit Living Legends soon enough, and Briar's gonna hit Living Legends soon enough. Well, we'll see if Oldham does. I think that Outsiders kind of puts Oldham in a crappy spot, but I also hate that that's a thing. He does own a kingdom. Yeah. I love that. Dad gave him a kingdom. That is true. Actually, Jesus never really had a kingdom. People just said that he had a kingdom. He was a kid, and then he was 12, and then the masturbation period for Jesus, they skipped over that, and they moved on to when he was 30, and then he was basically just loud for a while, and then he died. And that's the story of Jesus. Yeah, Bolt and Shot's Bolton's not, well, Bolton Shot's not a common. Bolton's are rare. Bolton Shots are rare. All right, 2 packs to go. So I think, Jake, I think that's actually the problem with talents, and I hope they get out of talents. Like, I like that Outsiders is not, has no talents in it, because I feel like talents bottleneck you. And I think that's actually something that bugs me about Dusk Till Dawn. Honestly, because Dusk Till Dawn doesn't seem like the natural flow of things, the natural flow of what you would expect, like, as we travel from place to place, doesn't put us revisiting Solana. It doesn't. You expect to go to Metrics, you expect to go to the Badlands, you expect to go to, there's a whole lot of things we expect to go to. There's a whole lot of things we would expect to go to, but we have to do Dusk Till Dawn. Why? Because Monarch is half worthless now. Because of the Living Legends format stuff. Like, what in the hell? So I feel like when you get into talents, and even the Living Legend system, is it bottlenecks them not just into being able to create things, but it also bottlenecks them into releases. Because I can only wonder, if Prism and Chain were not in Living Legends, whether or not Dusk Till Dawn would be a set. Because we're in the pits. It makes sense that the next thing is like a transition up to like Metrics or something like that. Pulse a Candlehold. Wow, what a pack. That's a nice little pack. Nice little pack to close it off. But yeah, there's the there's your case pair right there. But yeah, I cannot help but wonder, in the grand scheme of things, because we haven't visited the Savage Lands yet. We haven't done that thing yet. Do I have? Oh, do I have? Come here. The book. Whoopa. Ooh, that's important. That one's important. Also that kind of blurred out. We're gonna go back to this. So we haven't, oh god, Majestics wise. In that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So standard for Tails. Standard for Tails. So yeah, I think it's Savage Lands. And we haven't hit Mysteria either, technically. Really. Right? Yeah, we haven't really hit Mysteria either. So like, we've got these areas that we haven't been to. Actually, I'll bring this back up. I cracked this thing, and it's the worst binding ever. It's so bad. Whatever. I opened it to read it. But yeah, we haven't gone to Mysteria. We haven't gone to Metrics proper. We haven't gone to the Savage Lands, and yet we have to travel back to Solana and do the Dusk Till Dawn Light Shadow shit because half the cards from Monarch are worthless. Like, I feel like that's what happened. Like, I feel like that's where you're at, and that sucks. That's a system that sucks, is if you bottleneck yourself like that. And I'm purely guessing. But, and not that Dusk Till Dawn is a core set or anything like that. It's supplemental. But also, like, why? Why? And I feel like the only way you're going to do this is, like, we already seen it, like, Shiana's going to go back to, Shiana's already going back to Solana. Hey, Emperor died, yada, yada, yada. Like, so we already see, like, how we're going to lead into Dusk Till Dawn. We've already seen that, but that felt so fucking forced. So whatever. I hope we get away from talents. I hope that's a thing that stops. But anyway, that's the journey. That is the last case that I have of sealed product. The last case that I have of sealed product, and I am glad to be done with it. I'm glad that I'm no longer holding a quote position in anything, because it sucks. It was not fun. It's not why I got into this hobby. It's not why I got into this game. And yeah, that's going to be about where I'm at. So I will probably be back again as we look at Outsiders, and I'm going to be cracking some cases because I need to work on the Learn to Play kit and the bulk stuff. I'm thinking about having the bulk decks be interchangeable. That's what I'm thinking. I don't have any Genesis to open. I'm thinking about those. Yeah, I'm thinking about them being interchangeable because you cannot get 6 decks out of a box. There's just no way, not in any way that's going to be consistent. So I'm thinking about having a ninja bulk deck, a ranger bulk deck, and an assassin bulk deck. And there's like maybe 50 cards instead of 40 for a blitz deck. And then like 10 of the cards you just change out, and it turns into you turn it into the other hero. Yeah, I would love to be on the Azalea. I'd love to be on the Azalea Club. I'd love to be on that channel. There's a whole lot I want to talk about. And I'm sure you saw. If you didn't, you know, I've got Az's. I've got Az's playmat, which I'm really happy with. Stoked to have that thing out there. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up because there's a hockey game going on, and I've already missed a period of it. And yeah, I need to fix that. I need to fix that pretty quick. So also, I'm out of beer, and that's also the other point. But thank you guys so much for joining me throughout this little 1/2 rant and 2 sort of not. But we were talking about fun things and whatnot. I'll see you guys soon, like real soon, for some outsider stuff. And I got some pretty wild ideas. The Learn to Play kit is getting a 3.0 version, and it is going to be wild. Yeah, it is going to be a massive change, getting away from the PDF, and we're going to work on some accessibility things. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. This was a blast. This was fun. Now I got to ship this stuff out and get tails out the heck out of here. And yeah, I'll see you guys probably in a couple weeks if I don't see you sooner.